in a cage. So you're and Basayo, before the rehab assignment, was taking live BP against Felix Bautista.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, could we really see a scenario where in this home stretch, making this playoff push for the last 6 weeks, you've got reinforcements coming in the form of Blaze Alexander, Samuel Basayo, Felix Bautista, and Ryan Helsley even. And then you factor in the fact Cam Sanders looks like a completely different pitcher than we thought we were getting.
Yeah, he does.
When the Orioles picked him up, I think he was a waiver claim, right?
Yep. From Pittsburgh.
He was a waiver claim from Pittsburgh. And I don't know what they do here in Baltimore, but they seem to take guys who have control issues and they figure it out, and they figure it out quickly.
Yeah.
This guy has closer stuff coming into these situations for the Orioles, and he's fired up too. He comes into these high leverage situations, he gets out of them, and he is, I mean, inject that into my veins, right?
Yeah. And we haven't had anybody really coming out and doing that. I mean, Andrew Kittredge, I mean, call him the drunk uncle, right? He's just very even keeled. I mean, you may saw it a little bit last year at a Cage Stroud. You see the Cano stare. I mean, Cano gets fired up, but there really hasn't been anybody who like gets really fired up almost since Grayson Rodriguez a couple of years ago. And Kyle Bradish does here and there, but again, he's an even keeled kind of guy. It's nice to see. But then going back to what you were saying, this is why Drew French still has a job. And I know a lot of people ask, with a whole new coaching staff, why Drew French? Why did he get to stay? Blah, blah, blah. You're seeing it real time. Drew has constantly been given these, I don't want to call them dumpster dive, but they've been projects in the bullpen. And he has really, really excelled with these projects in the bullpen. Now, granted, some of them haven't really worked out. I mean, obviously Fujinami didn't work out and some of the other guys, but I mean, I would say he's probably batting close to 80% with some of these bullpen arms and getting, at least maximizing their potential for the limited time that you have of them. And honestly, I thought this bullpen was going to be kind of brutal. I mean, at least,
and they have been at times.
Sure, yeah,
they have been at times. I mean,
but they've went through their fair share of injuries too.
Yeah,
but I mean, they've kept it together. I mean, obviously the starting staff right now has been unbelievable. They're the sole reason why the Orioles are 19-12 since they were 9 games under 500. What was that? July 9th? I just posted that.
Yep.
They've been playing good baseball, and it's all due to the pitching. All due to the pitching. Somebody said Brian Baker used to get fired up. I knew I was missing somebody. Baker got fired up, yeah.
I was going to say that too, but I was like, I used to hate on Baker so much. So.
Yeah.
But
somebody asked, what's the lineup if everybody's healthy? So I don't think my chats are going to come in today, but I'll try and read them because I basically had to create like a separate RMTP server to get it to go live for some reason tonight. So I'll just kind of read off those. I think you put Blaze back down at the bottom. As much as I love Blaze and what he brings to the offense right now, if you kind of think about it, with the injuries, the bottom has really struggled.
Yeah. I mean, catchers have 2 RBI since the All-Star break.
Exactly.
And now I think maybe you see Kalzer at 7 and Blaze at 8 or vice versa. And I think whoever's catching is still going to be in that 9 hole.
Yeah. Or you could maybe flip them because Blaze gets on, and you want the top of your lineup to have somebody on.
That's a fair point. Conventional wisdom suggests that, right? But we've seen that the Orioles have struggled at times with conventional wisdom this year. I'll tell you that Jackson Holliday, since right after the All-Star break, I think, has been a revelation for this team.
He's been. I think it was July 25th. Yahoo Sports put out that he was a bust, and it might be time for the Orioles to move on. He's been pretty good since then. He's hitting 286. 286.
Yeah, I mean, he hit, and it's crazy that they would have put that out on July 25th because he was hitting well before that.
Yeah,
I think his 5-hit game or 4-hit game came before that.
Right.
And when I look at what Holliday's doing, he's staying within him. Sometimes he still gets that uppercut in his swing.
Sometimes, yep.
It looks like there's a situation where like he's like, oh, I want to ambush right here and gets his fastball and tries to uppercut it, and he swings underneath it. But he did that today when he had that 2-run base hit or that RBI single up the middle to tie the game today. To fall behind 0-2, he had the uppercut swing at the high fastball. Then he takes a pitch, and then he gets a pitch down at the bottom of the zone. Hard line drive up the middle for a base hit, and that's when the wheels fell off for Tampa Bay. Right. I want to look at what Holliday's done, because what Holliday's done, like, it goes back beyond the 25th. I mean, if you go back to, I want to go back just to July 1st. And we'll go back to July 8th. From July 8th through, this is baseball references, so I'm going to let me do through yesterday's game. But he, and today he had 2 more hits. He was 2 for 3 today? My computer's being really, really slow right now. Oh, he's hitting 305 with a 396 on base percentage and a 796 OPS in 31 games since July 8th.
Yeah. I have his last 35 games, hitting 284 with 761 OPS. Again, still low RBIs, but I mean, it's been kind of the tail of the Orioles offense this year.
Well, and that's not really, like, would you love it if that's what he was doing?
Right.
Yeah, you'd love it if he was driving in more runs, but he's getting on base. I mean, and you're looking at a guy who the batting average is a little bit lower than you'd like it to be, but the on base percentage, and that only went up after today. You're looking at 245 with a 729 OPS for the season. Last year, there was the big difference between this year and last year. Average is about the same. He's getting on base at a much higher clip. This year.
Much higher, yeah. Well, I mean, the walks are coming back. Like that the eye of Jackson Holliday when he set the Norfolk record, that's where I wanted to know, was where did that eye go? Like, this guy was, it's hard to set records for walks and then come up here and just not walk. Like, I didn't understand that. And I don't know if that was like the org telling him not to do that, or if that was just maybe him just being 20, 21 years old and just super amped up. But I mean, we don't need this guy to hit 30 home runs. You don't. You just get on base, man.
One day he might.
He might. He's a big kid. He's a big kid.
Yeah. I mean, and the strikeouts, I feel like, are down this year too. I mean, 59 strikeouts in 72 games. Yep. 33 walks. I mean, last year he hit 242, but he had a 314 on base percentage. This year, 245, 344 on base percentage. He's putting the bat on the ball. And when he does, a good bit of the time now, things are happening when he does that. And keep in mind that 245, I mean, you're looking at a dude who was, back on July 7th, after that game, he was hitting 183. Yeah. So from 183 on July 7th to 245 on August 16th, that's pretty substantial.
So let me ask you this: when Blaze comes back, and Kyle McGuire asked this in my chat, when Blaze comes back, who's he taking bats from? It's a solid question, because when you look at it, Blaze before he went out was hitting 350. Pete's hitting 306. This is last 35 games. Holliday 284. Tyler O'Neill's hitting 276. Pazzo's hitting 273. Well, granted, it's only 11 at bats. Kobe Mayo's hitting 267. Encarnacion Strain's leading the team in RBIs at 254 over the last 35 games. Who's he taking at bats from?
I mean, are you playing him in the outfield?
You might have to, right? Because, I don't know, because Dylan Beavers just kind of went through it a little bit, but he's still hitting 261 over the last 35 games.
Not driving. I mean, not really. I mean, the RBI's got to be way down. Does he even have 10 RBIs in that stretch?
He has 11.
Okay.
But he's got a lot of Ks.
A lot of Ks and not a lot of power.
Who do you take bats from?
I mean...
Because you got 14 RBIs out of Kobe Mayo, and you got 15 out of Encarnacion Strand. So third base, I think, is kind of taken care of right now.
Unless you're valuing the defense. But that's the other thing. Yeah. Blaze is so versatile. And look, you and I both kind of believe in letting somebody have a main position, have them play that position not 80, 90% of the time. But if you want to keep Blaze in the lineup, I mean, maybe one day he plays left field with Beavers and right. The next day he plays left field.
Can I ask you a stupid question? Is he your starting center fielder?
Maybe. I mean,
I mean, because
He's
you're
gotta
looking
come
at
back and-
Cowser. You know I love Cowser, right? But over the last 35 games, Cowser's hitting 175. Tavares is hitting 170.
Cowser's entering a hot streak right now, though. He's home run 2 of the lot. That's why I took him. I took him and picked the click today
Yeah.
because he had a home run in his career against Peralta in 3 at bats, and he homered the other day. And usually, Cowser's homers kind of come in bunches.
Yeah.
But so like maybe you're riding Cowser's hot streak for the next couple weeks until Blaze is back, and then when Cowser starts to go cold again, oh, there's Blaze. He's in center field. You know.
I think for sure Jeremiah Jackson's the guy that goes down.
Yeah, and that sucks for Jeremiah. He's had some clutch at bats for this team this year.
He has. He's hitting 103 in his last 35 games, and
that low?
his last 20. So this was the Orioles' last 35 game or 45 days. I'm sorry. He's only played 20 games in the last 45 days with just 36 at bats. And he's hitting 103. He's 3 for 29 with a couple walks, but at this point, this guy's kind of just sitting on the bench, not playing very much.
And I like this. DH Henry, you're not going to DH him once or twice a week, but you're gonna get him off his feet. You know, maybe once every couple of weeks and have Blaze play shortstop
or Jackson.
Now, what was are we gonna overtake Boston? Adley, who Buster? Yeah, the I think the Red Sox are like 1-7 since the Adley trade.
Yeah,
and I think Adley has 1 hit. Meanwhile, the Orioles' record's better than the Red Sox since that trade, which is crazy. You and I didn't really even get to talk about that trade because I think you went on vacation after the deadline, right? Yep. Yeah. So we'll talk about that here because I want to get your take live on that. But I do like the idea of getting Blaze some time at shortstop, and maybe it's a pipe dream, but maybe Blaze on a day that Blaze plays shortstop, Gunnar plays third. But I don't know if you want to disrupt Gunnar's rhythm. I don't know. I don't know what and Gunnar would do it. Gunnar would do it, but he probably wouldn't like it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, maybe you still, I don't know. So I just did the last 15 days here. Holliday's hitting 186. Encarnacion Strand, obviously this is 444 today. Encarnacion Strand hitting 200. Beavers hitting 226. Henderson 237. Tavares 273. O'Neill 273. Cowser 280. And Mayo 281.
Well, you
Pete
also
hitting 400.
well, I mean, you also have to look at the fact that in that stretch from let me see here, from August 1st to August 7th, Jackson played in 6 games and went 0 for 18.
Yeah,
with 9 strikeouts, and then all of a sudden 3 consecutive multi-hit games, include 3 extra base hits in those 3 games. Went hitless the last 2 games against Minnesota, but then had some great hits again. He's had at least 1 hit in every game against Tampa Bay so far in this series. So
yeah,
I mean, he was so ungodly hot in July. He was bound to cool off, and it's funny because as soon as the calendar turned from July to August, he immediately goes 0 for 18.
Yep.
But look, every player is going to slump at some point, and what I like to see is the fact that Jackson went 0 for 18 and then was like, "What the hell is going on?" and then gets 6 hits his next 3 games.
Yeah.
Snap right back out of that.
You want to see something real fun?
Sure.
Taylor Ward got benched.
Well, I saw that he was something like
5 for 32.
5 for 32
with zip walks.
No walks, no home runs, no RBIs.
6 Ks.
Dude, what do you think? What does his career look like from here? I mean, this season for him,
somebody will still give him a shot. Somebody will still give him a shot.
He'll get a shot because that on base percentage is still probably around 360, 370.
Yeah.
Right now, right? I mean, 32 at bats in the scheme of 5 months isn't going to do much to your on base percentage.
Yeah.
But I mean, you're talking about a guy that went from 36 homers and 102 RBI to 7 home runs, 28 RBI, and gets traded and then does nothing. I have to wonder, like, what's his psyche? What's his confidence going to be like moving forward for whoever he signs with?
His last 140 at bats combined between the 2 teams, he's hitting 211 with a 348 on base percentage and a 646 OPS.
Mm-hmm.
So he's got 2 doubles, 1 triple, 2 home runs, 7 RBIs, 21 walks, and 24 Ks.
How many doubles does he have on the year?
It was a lot for a bit, but I think it's fallen way off.
He was leading the majors
Yeah, in
entering
like the
May,
first
I think,
month.
with like 13 or I think he has 16 doubles all year. And he
Yeah.
had 13 the first month.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, man, he got hit by that pitch on his hand. He
Yeah.
didn't miss
A lot of
any
people talked
time.
about that.
I think that's impacted him significantly.
Yeah, it's
And
possible.
I mean, you don't go from. I mean, he was hitting everything
Yeah.
to start the year, and you knew that was going to cool off. But he was a lot of doubles,
Mm-hmm.
and he was walking a lot, taking great at bats, putting the bat on the ball, hitting balls that he was gap to gap,
Yeah.
and then he gets hit on the hand, and then he just stops producing anything. Maybe he just needs to rest. Maybe he needs the off season to rest. I don't know.
We talked about it with Adley too. What was it 20? Was it 24?
2024.
When
Yeah,
he got hit in the hand.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think it's the same thing with Ward.
it's very possible.
I just cannot fathom how you can be that hot and have that many extra base hits to start the year, coming off a 36 homer season, and then produce what he's produced this year. It just doesn't make sense to me. Somebody said he's going to end up in Pittsburgh. Will Rogers said Ward will play for Pittsburgh next season. I can see that.
I could see that. Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, man, look, they're playing some great baseball right now. Gonna be tough to get this sweep because now you've got Brandon Young going tomorrow, 9-3 with what, a 3.33 ERA.
Talked about this earlier in Orioles Birdwatcher stream. This team is 16-4 when he starts.
16-4 in his 20 starts. They're going up against Shane McClanahan, who
It's gonna be tough.
in games against, he has had 11 starts in his career against the Orioles, 7-0 with a 2.97 ERA for Shane McClanahan. But they're just 12-8 in his 20 starts. He faced the Orioles in back-to-back starts back in May 18th and May 25th. The first start, he went 5 innings. He allowed 4 earned runs, and the Orioles lost that game 16-6.
Yeah.
And then the next start, he started that game on a Sunday. He threw 5 1/3 shutout innings. And that was a game that was crazy where the Orioles scored a bunch of runs late to tie it up. And then they scored in the 10th. Tampa scored in the 10th. They scored 2 in the 11th. Tampa scored 2 in the 11th, or vice versa, I mean. And then, like, the 12th inning, Tampa scored 4, and the Orioles scored 4.
Right.
And then I think the Orioles ended up winning that game in extra innings. So the game that he gives up 4 runs, Tampa Bay wins going away. The game that he gives up no runs, Tampa Bay loses a heartbreaker in extra innings.
Right.
So, and AJ said this, and yes, it's any given day in baseball. Hey, we beat Scooble and we beat the Dodgers. We can beat anybody. Yes, the Orioles
just gotta hit.
Yeah, and again, Gunnar and Holliday doing what they're doing right now, with Pete swinging a hot bat too, and then you get Basayo back, and that's what you tried to ask a couple of times. Was what does this lineup look like when Basayo and Blaze Alexander come back? And is it? I mean, I think you go right back to. I mean, do you bat Blaze in the 2-hole? Do you go Holliday, Blaze,
if
Gunnar,
you do that,
Alonso, Basayo?
If you do that, I would put Holliday probably back down.
Yeah, but I think that they like Holliday in the top third because he's.
I just don't think they're gonna. I don't think coming right off the IL. They're going to put Blaze back at the top of the lineup.
Well, I'm more inclined to agree with you that they're going to put him at the bottom of the order.
Yeah,
and especially with the way Pete's swinging the bat in the top 2 spots in the order.
Yeah,
getting his base hits, driving the ball, driving in runs.
It'd be nice to get him a little bit more protection too. Finally, with Sammy, it'd be nice, and Gunnar too. Honestly.
Well, and how much do you think? Because Basayo started to really struggle there right before he got hurt, right? How much do you think how much of that do you think was, man, it's the dog days of summer, it's hot, he's big bodied and his body's wearing down a little bit. He hurts the shoulder and now he's had a month to rest.
Who's to know that maybe that shoulder wasn't bothering him prior to going on the IL either?
Yeah. Yeah, and then that one swing was just the straw that broke the camel's back. Yeah. But I mean, you get a big boy like that off his feet for a month, and when I say off his feet, obviously he's still rehabbing and doing baseball activities, but he's not playing a 9-inning game, and he's not crouching in some for like 3 times a week for
Yeah,
for
because
9
he was
innings.
catching. It was almost like what 4 straight games or something.
No, actually,
Because that was when Adley got hurt, right?
I was surprised. He had caught 2 straight games, but it had been like a week
Oh,
since
was
he
it okay?
caught. Yeah, when Adley got hurt, Huff started catching like exclusively, and then Basayo got hurt like 5 days later. But
Yeah,
Basayo caught on the 18th and 19th, and before that, it had been 5-6 games since he had caught. But I
right.
mean, getting that big body some rest, getting him a little bit fresher. Now the shoulder's starting to feel better, and then he comes out today. I think today was his first rehab game, wasn't it?
Yeah, and he had a couple
And
hits and RBIs.
yeah, I mean that he hit a screaming double into the right center field gap at 111 miles an hour,
Yep.
driving 2 runs. Here's my question for you, right? Do they get him? Do they activate him for? Do they start his rehab on a Sunday with the idea it's get 1 game under your belt, give you off Monday, then get a few more games under your belt Tuesday, Wednesday. Maybe we activate you for next weekend series, or we think that you're probably ready to go pretty quickly.
They're probably going to move him pretty quick.
You think that he's going to be activated as early as Tuesday?
Yeah, and I think they're probably going to send down Navarez. He's got two options left. Not really hitting this year.
Yeah.
Maybe let Mike Schilt kind of get a hold of him a little bit and work on some things. But yeah, I think right now you got to keep Pozo over Navarez just because of the vibes.
Well, and that's the thing. I was looking at, and I don't know if his name is Narvaez or if it's Navarez. I don't know. Maybe it's one of those Brett Favre situations. But I was looking at where is it? Show me his fielding. I was looking at his fielding the other day, and what I was very shocked, I guess not shocked to see, but happy to see when I was looking at it, is that he had a 3.17 ERA as a catcher this year. So he's been Pozo's been doing a great job too. The question is, like, that Narvaez has that offensive upside.
Yeah.
Does Pozo have the same offensive upside? But if Narvaez has 2 options left, maybe that's a situation where you're right, where they do send him down. Were you surprised they didn't put a claim in for Jake Rogers?
No, I think they like the guys they got.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's crazy, though, that just to think that since the All-Star break, and we're, 30 games since the All-Star break?
Yeah.
If not more. And you've got 2 RBIs.
Yeah.
From all of that includes Adley and Basayo and Tromp and Huff, Narvaez, Rogers, Pozo. You've got 2, and I think it's like 3 hits.
Yeah,
like 3 hits and 2 RBIs from your catchers. Like that is they miss Basayo so much.
Yep.
But like I'm just excited to see these guys get back, and it's, man, they're sucking me back in. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
They're sucking me back in. You're looking. I thought that today the other shoe was going to drop. They had 1 hit through 4 innings. They kind of looked lifeless out there, and then the next thing you know, you get a leadoff walk from Tavares. Then you get a hit by pitch for Mayo. I was in the car, didn't see the play. What happened? Did you happen to see that play with Tavares where the Orioles challenged and it got overturned? I don't know what that play was.
No, I didn't get a chance to see it today.
There was some kind of play that was overturned where he was originally called out at second base and he was already at second base. So maybe it was a pickoff attempt or something, and they called him out. It got overturned, and then Jackson comes up and gets that base hit to tie the ball game. Then Pete comes up, 2-run double, and then Gunnar smokes one into the gap, and the center fielder makes a stellar diving catch to rob him of.
I did see that part.
What would have been an RBI double, but but I keep waiting for the other shoe to drop with this series against Tampa Bay, and it hasn't yet. Like, it's just wild to me that the Orioles were clearly deadline sellers. 2.5 games out.
Yeah.
And they've made up 3 games since then, and now they lead the 3rd wild card. Like, I never would have. I legitimately said, with those moves, without replacing with adequate replacements, they're going to lose 90 games this year.
Yeah, I don't think anybody probably would have disagreed with you. I mean, but the guys they brought in they've played well. Hoppy's looked good. It's something to work with. And then they've got other guys that came in that trade that are pitching pretty decent. They didn't bring anything in at all for the outfield, but now the outfield's hitting. Was that like a confidence boost, you think, to the clubhouse?
Well,
we just traded your one of one and your supposed leader. But we didn't bring you anybody in, but yet, maybe I'm not gonna sit here and say Taylor Ward was a cancer or anything like that, but that addition by subtraction itself, I think, made the Orioles better.
Well, what I wonder is, did the Orioles that are still here, the bulk of this roster, Mike Elias came in after that trade. First off, saying, I don't know if I'm going to talk to the team. I'm pretty tired. Like, dude.
Yeah.
He just should not talk to the media, right? But, like,
that I think was just an answer in the moment.
Yeah. No, and I get that, but you don't have the luxury to let your guard down like that if you're Mike Elias in this situation.
Yeah.
Right. And I don't know that if it was a confidence boost for them. I think it was a look in the mirror moment. I think it was a moment where they said, we've been so bad. They just traded our starting left fielder, one of our 5 starting pitchers, maybe our best reliever, and our starting catcher. And then our GM comes in and says, I still believe in you. I still think you guys can make this. And it's like, I don't know that they feel confidence, and I think that they felt gaslit.
Yeah, maybe.
How could you not feel gaslit? And then you're just like, nah, we can't let this happen. Now, but here's the other thing, man. Are we going to let one good series against Tampa Bay erase the fact that they played 3 straight bad series before this one? Or maybe not 3, but 2. Or no, it was 3. It was straight bad series. Because you lost a series to, what was it, Philadelphia? No, Philadelphia was right before the deadline. But you won the series against the Angels. You lose a series to Minnesota. You lose a series to Texas. And who was the other team that they did they lose 3 straight series before going to Tampa Bay?
Let me double check.
Who came into town after the Angels?
Rangers.
Yeah.
So they went Phillies. Did they lose the Philly series? Let me see. Go back to July.
Yeah, they lost 2 or 3.
Yep, and then won that one. Lost 2 out of 3 to the Texas, 2 out of 3 to the Twins, and now they've won 3 straight against Tampa.
Okay, so the Texas, so they only had that one series left against the Angels.
So coming at home, man, you got the Yankees and Rays. That might be a kicker right there.
Yeah, I mean, nobody
expected
it ain't
any easier because then you go on the road against the Cardinals. And the Athletics, they seems to just not play well out there.
They don't seem to play well in St. Louis or against the Athletics.
St. Louis is like Tampa. I mean, St. Louis is just a dog. They're gonna they're gonna come in there. They're gonna grind out at bats. They're gonna pitch good enough.
Did you see what Josh Baez did in his debut the other day?
Yeah,
125 years. It's never happened. The first pitch he sees, 449 to dead center.
Yeah,
homers in each of his first 3 at bats
to all 3 fields.
That's just
all 3
bananas.
fields.
Just absolutely insane. But to your point, I think that the team had to take a look in the mirror. But then the other thing is, Elias tried to feed us a spoonful of bullshit, saying we weren't just sellers. We brought in some key pieces for this team. And when you're talking about a 27-year-old guy or 24-year-old relief pitcher making his major league debut this year for the Mariners and pitching to a 5.79 ERA, and then a couple AA pitchers pitching to around the same ERA. You're talking about Christian Franklin, who's a 26-year-old who had yet to make his major league debut. And there was an injury there where he lost an entire year, so I get that. But, there's a reason he's 26 and hadn't made his major league debut yet. And so you're sitting there and you're like, he's gaslighting us. But look at Cam Sanders. Look at Hoppy. Look at the way they're throwing the baseball. And we know that Mike Elias is great at scouting. He's great at identifying players that other teams throw away that he's like, no, we can make something out of these guys. And so maybe he's not gaslighting. Maybe like he knows about these players and he can see this stuff and be like, all we got to do is tweak this, and this dude's going to be a legitimate piece for us. I don't think that's the case with Christian Franklin, but I do think that Christian Franklin fills that fifth outfielder role better than anybody else in the team, because you're not asking him to go out there and start 4 days a week like Tavares, 4 or 5 days a week like Tavares. You're asking him to come in as a defensive replacement. You're asking him to be a pinch runner, and you're asking him to come in and maybe start a game or two each week and not be overmatched. Keep having those good at bats and getting on base. I don't think they ever looked at him and thought this is an everyday player for us, but this is a legitimate fifth outfielder who fills that role.
I'm looking at Hoppy. He got screwed from the first game of the year. He gave up 3 runs in an inning and a 2/3. He had a 16.2 ERA after game 1. He came up on April 27th, so game 1 for him. Mm-hmm. And then he gave up 2 in an inning against the White Sox. After that, he's only given up 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 10, 12, 13 runs the rest of the season in 30 innings, which isn't great.
It's maybe right around a 4 ERA.
Yeah. What really killed him was right before, it was the last 2 games of June. He gave up 2 against Pittsburgh in an inning and then 2 against Pittsburgh again the next night. Since then, it's been, how many has this been? 4. His last 7 outings, he's gone 4 innings, 6 innings, 7.7 in a third, giving up 1 run. And that's dating with Seattle and Baltimore. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, he's lowered his ERA in those last games from a 6.12 to a 5.17. So, I mean, the thing that we were missing was bullpen and velocity. So, I mean, that was it. And he addressed that with Sanders and Hoppy. And he went and got velocity. Even the guys that came with Hoppy in the rest of that trade, the minor leaguers, they're mid to upper 90 guys that were straight up bullpen arms only. And now you got 6 years control if they figure it out. Right? Yeah. And I know a lot of people kind of complained about Tyler Wells. That one I think stung more than Adley to me, because Tyler was having a nice season. Not dominant by any means, but a very nice season. And it kind of signaled maybe they were throwing in the towel a little bit, because the bullpen was probably the biggest weakness here. But when you really look at it, Tyler Wells, and we're just going to be very blunt here. He's a nice pitcher. I think he's a nice to have pitcher. Mm-hmm. He's not a guy that you're going to carve out room for in your starting rotation, right? So he went to the bullpen. And I honestly think he was pitching above expectation in the bullpen.
Well, he doesn't throw very hard.
Right, 92, 93.
Right, and he's a fly ball pitcher.
Yep.
And so you're looking at a guy that he can be a high leverage reliever because he's effective, but is he really somebody that? And I'm not trying to justify. I like Tyler Wells, and I thought Tyler Wells was having a really good year.
He was a very nice bullpen arm,
and I felt like he had finally found his place.
Yeah.
On a major league roster, can you start him and squeeze all the juice till he inevitably gets hurt, or he gets dead arm, and then you got to have him come out of the bullpen. You start him as a reliever from the beginning of the year, and then look what he does. And the beginning of the year was tough for Tyler Wells. It was tough, but he really locked in and settled in and had himself a nice season. But you get Michael Ferret back in that trade, and like that was
6 years of control of a starter that is good, like firsthand.
A guy that you didn't really want to trade to begin with, but you wanted Shane Baz, and that's what you had to do.
Yep.
So you trade Tyler Wells to get Michael Ferret back, and Michael Ferret is, like Michael I said, a phone call away. He could
be a phone call away in the bullpen too.
What's he doing right now though? Because he's probably made 2 or 3 starts down there for Norfolk.
Yeah.
So So I'm interested to see. He's 7-2 with a 3.86 ERA.
It looks like he pitched today and gave up 8 earned in 5 innings.
I mean,
Today's the 16th, right? Yeah.
and that's the
But
thing.
those happen. Those games happen.
Yeah, I mean, he's got a 9.31 ERA in 2 starts with Norfolk.
Yeah.
He had 9 starts for Durham with a 4.89 ERA. He was pitching really well Double-A to earn the promotion, but it's his first taste of Triple-A, and the pitching at Norfolk, like you've said, the ball flies out of that ballpark.
Flies.
Pitching in the International League isn't the easiest thing, and it's his first taste of it. It is this year he's made 11 Triple-A starts. This is, you look at Brandon Young last year. We thought that Brandon Young, even this year, we thought Brandon Young was a 4A pitcher.
Yeah.
And now he's been maybe their most consistent starter this year. I mean, he hasn't been. When you look at what Boz and Rogers and Bradish have been doing for the last 2 or 3 months, and Brandon Young has pitched really well this year, but it started to kind of come back to earth a little bit for him. Not like overwhelmingly so, but he has started to come back to earth a little bit. But he's a major league pitcher. He's a guy who's going to be one of our 5 starters in the rotation in 2027 whenever that season gets started.
Yep.
For they love the arm, they love his abilities, and he's going to get every opportunity to earn a job out of spring training next year, whether it's in the bullpen or in the rotation. And when they expand the rosters to 28 guys in September, he might be one of those arms that gets called up. I don't know that he will be, but he might be. So again, this all comes back to the Tyler Wells trade. Like the Taylor Ward trade, it was like we knew that was coming. The Dean Kramer trade called us all off guard, but a 6.50 ERA. Both teams needed to change the scenery there.
Yes.
Both sides needed to change the scenery. The Rutschman trade, it made us sad, right? You're sad because he was the face of the rebuild, and it basically tells you the rebuild did not work. You got 0 playoff wins, and now you traded him after 4.5 seasons in Baltimore. Right.
Well, you and I talked about it. He caught less than 50% of his games that he was eligible to play for, too.
And I'll tell you right now, as much as I loved Adley's best years are behind him.
Likely.
His
and
best
you can't
years,
move him to first base, and he's not good enough as a hitter to be a DH either.
Right. Like his best year. And again, it sounds like, because we're doing an Orioles show, it sounds like we're just trying to justify. But when you take a step back and you look at the trade and you look at what the Orioles got, the fact that what you and I knew, which was that the Orioles approached him multiple times for an extension and they weren't close. The writing's on the wall. And one of the things that I saw with the way they handled the trade deadline, you look at all the guys that got traded, free agents either at the end of this year or at the end of next year, which also tells me we don't know how much baseball we're playing next year. And if for whatever reason we can't come to an agreement and we don't maybe we play 60 games next year, maybe we don't play any. You got quality pieces for everybody that you traded away.
Yeah.
And the Adley trade, the Red Sox potentially, worst case scenario, the Red Sox gave up 2 of their top pitching prospects and 2 of their top outfield prospects.
Yeah.
For 2 months of Adley Rutschman.
Mm-hmm. Potentially, yeah. Let's be honest, he might get hurt again.
Mm-hmm. And again, got a 28-year-old catcher who will be 29 before spring training starts next year.
Yeah.
Who wants however many years. We won't put it out there, the amount of years that you and I talked about, but wants years that are way beyond what you should be giving a 28-year-old catcher who has been on the IL 5 times in the last 2 years.
Yeah.
And until this year had a year, basically what was it, like a 200 game stretch or 100, about a year stretch worth of games where he hit 200 with a 5-something OPS.
Yep.
You don't give 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years to that guy.
Right.
And again, he's having a good year. The defense is maybe the best it's ever been, at least throwing base runners out. He was hitting 255, 260.
Yeah.
Driving in some runs when he was here, when he was healthy, but 3 trips to the IL this year.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah.
I mean, it sucks because of what it represented in trading Rutschman. But when you look at the player they traded and the players they got, and you take a step back and just look at it from a pure baseball business standpoint,
Right.
it's beautiful. It's a beautiful thing what they did.
100%.
Yeah.
Now, Navarez needs to kind of play a little better. I like Navarez as a defensive catcher, but he had a better year than Adley last year across the board.
It was all in the first half.
It was, and but still, I mean, it's there. You just got to re-unlock it again. Going into 2027 with Basayo being your leading candidate to get the most catching innings scares me a little bit because I want to keep the big fella healthy.
Well, but Elias said that they don't envision Basayo as being an everyday catcher.
Right. But you're probably going to be forced to play him there to get the offense.
Yeah.
To get more offense. Because think about it. If it comes down to it, Tyler O'Neill, we're projectingly speaking here. Tyler O'Neill continues to hit, right? Probably going to be your DH. Mm-hmm. Are you going to sit Tyler O'Neill for Basayo, or would you rather play them both and put Basayo behind the plate? You're going to put them both in the lineup. It's some way, somehow. Not every time, but more times than not, you're going to want both guys in the lineup. Mm-hmm. And pretty quickly, you're going to have Basayo at a point where you're catching more than you probably don't want him to.
Yeah. Well, and I don't think it has
That's the only thing I'm a little concerned about. Unless Navarez wants to come back and start being a good baseball player again. Well, hitter, I mean.
I don't. You saw that Alex Jackson got released, right?
I like Alex Jackson.
I liked him too. He's got some pop. He's got a strong arm. He plays good defense. He was like the only Orioles catcher last year that could catch a ball at the plate and put a tag down without dropping the baseball. So, should the Orioles take a flyer on him again, or
is he better than Pozo? You think?
I think he's a better hitter than Pozo.
You think so?
Maybe. I mean, I don't know. I mean, Pozo. Yeah, he's got 11 at bats.
And he's only got 278 career at bats. He's a 248 hitter.
Yeah.
He's got 7 home runs. He's not great. I mean, Jackson, I think, has probably got like 10 or 11 career home runs.
I mean, Alex Jackson was hitting 303
this year
for Minnesota this year.
How many at bats?
Like 62.
Oh, okay.
Or like maybe 65. He has he has 20 hits, 1 home run, 108 OPS plus.
So here's the thing with Alex Jackson. He's got 450 career at bats. He's hitting 174 with a 555 OPS. So he caught lightning in a bottle with the Orioles, and the Orioles got something in return trading him. I don't even remember what they got for him.
Well, I mean, he has as many hits this year as he had with the Orioles last year in 31 fewer plate appearances. Yeah. So I mean, now what does he do defensively?
Oh, they got Peyton Ellis for Alex Jackson, who's hitting fairly well in AAA.
I mean, defensively, he's got as a catcher 981. Yeah,
I think Pozo's a better fielder.
Probably. Yeah, Alex Jackson was a much better
Pozo's
catcher.
a 993 or 983. I'm sorry, I was looking at something else. What is this league fielding percentage? So fielding percentage, he's 983, and it looks like in Baltimore is his worst ever. He's at 969 right now.
Yeah, I mean
that's because he has 1 error, but
I mean he's been
that
here
doesn't
for like
count.
a week.
Yeah, it doesn't count.
Yeah. So
it says he's got obviously only 37 innings, but yeah, that was that back pick the other night. Was that him or was that Navarez? That was Navarez, so that wasn't it. But either way, I think Pozo's the better player.
Probably. I just like the bat from Alex Jackson.
Yeah.
I want
think,
a guy.
Well, yeah, it was hot here. It was hot here.
Yeah, I mean, he only hit 5 home runs last year, but they were like memorable home runs.
Yeah,
and you want somebody that can fare well with the stick. I like Pozo. I like Jackson. I need to see more from Pozo before I make a decision. But I mean, like, there's a reason he's not starting and Narvaez is.
I want to answer. I think you got to pay some bills. Pay them real quick. Yeah, I want to answer AJ's question.
Today's show brought to you by Glenn Clark Radio. If you missed anything from Glenn Clark Radio this week, including conversations with newly acquired Orioles prospects Anthony Ianson and Kyson Witherspoon, as well as Marvin Lewis, Mike Florio, and more, you can find them in the Glenn Clark Radio Weekend Review feature at PressBoxOnline.com. And as always, watch or listen to GCR every Monday through Thursday at 11 a.m. at PressBoxOnline.com/radio or right here on Pressbox's Facebook and YouTube pages. Today's show also brought to you by Leading Edge Auto Body. Your car is more than just a ride, it's an investment. At Leading Edge Auto Body in Mount Washington, customer satisfaction comes first. Their team holds the highest honors in the industry, including ASE Master, iCar Platinum, and specialized aluminum certifications. And they make it easy with free towing, pickup, and delivery. To find out more, head over to leadingedautobody.com.
So AJ asked, it was a little bit ago, just want to ask Pigtown, how good is Caden Hunter? And how high is his ceiling? Is he the next Kyle Bradish? It's a good question. It's a good question. Watching him live was fun. Very fun. The fastball is absolutely electric. 95, 96. I saw one or two 97s. He hides it extremely well. Like, it keeps everything behind the body, and it just, the delivery kind of comes through. And I was chatting with my buddy, and it was almost, it's like a Trevor Rogers type delivery, where it's just, kind of slow, compact, and then obviously he throws harder than Rogers, but it just explodes out of his hand. Mm-hmm. And it's fun to watch, and I told it to my buddy a couple times, and I was like, the off-speed, the slider is not good enough right now. Mm-hmm. Some of them really kind of just spun there. One or two of them dipped hard, and I only got to see him one time. But he was he went out into the seventh inning, but didn't record an out. But he had 10 Ks. It was his second career AA start, 10 Ks again. The slider is not good enough to get out big league hitters right now, right? I mean, we're talking a guy who's only made 3-4 AA starts. So right now, it's not good enough to get out those guys. Changeup was good enough, right? Because the fastball is just that damn good. And I think I forget the other pitch. He only threw it like maybe twice, but I forget what it was. All 10 strikeouts came off the fastball. The fastball's elite. There's no doubt about it. And it's got good run. So it's not just a flat 96, 97. It's a solid two-seam that they're marking as they mark it as a sinker, but it's got movement. And it's elite. And to name him a Kyle Bradish, I think it'd be a little tough. I think Trevor Rogers might be closer to it, just because the delivery and all was really close. Obviously throwing harder, but I think that run that Rogers had, where he's going to stay a sub-3 RA, is Hunter's ceiling, in my opinion. It looked dominant. He overpowers AA hitters. Had one. It's funny because I tweeted out that he made guys look silly, and then first pitch of the third inning, I think it was a solo shot. Guy absolutely just sat on it, and he turned on it, but he looked silly the next two at bats. Like, it just the fastball is just that good.
Would you agree that a AA hitter is likely to get to the majors quicker than a AA pitcher? And the reason I ask that, because a AA pitcher, a lot of times your best prospects are in AA, and then they have a shortstop at AAA, and then they head up to the majors. But with a pitcher, you get to AAA, you always see a AA pitcher, a guy who's had great success at AA, move up to AAA and struggle initially. And I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that there's a lot of guys with major league experience playing at AAA, and so they've seen the best that the game has to offer, and so like these guys know how to hit your AA phenom. So I think that, like, when you're talking about a guy like a Caden Hunter or an Anthony Ianson or a Kyson Witherspoon, it's like these guys are going to be pitching in AA for a little bit. They're going to have their success there. They probably aren't going to get here as quickly as you would think, just because they're going to have growing pains when they get to AAA. But once they figure out a AAA, that's when they come up to the big leagues and start to have success. And even then, the success is slow to come. We just talked about it with Brandon Young. Brandon Young was the Orioles minor league pitcher of the year 2 years ago. and he was bad last
Right.
year. This year, totally different guy. Sometimes it takes a little bit of time to figure it out. Now
Yeah.
I've never seen Caden Hunter pitch, but that's just my prognosis. Just knowing from what I've seen from other AA pitchers and players, what it kind of looks like the trajectory.
They get that breaking ball working where it's sharp, almost like excuse me, almost how like Joe Dees is. I think his ceiling explodes at that point. The fastball is that good. If it stays as something that's going to kind of just spin in the zone 40 to 50% of the time, he's going to get hit around because you can't throw all fastballs. And eventually guys are going to time it up. So it's going to be interesting over his next 5 AA starts or so to see how guys start to adjust to that fastball. The changeup's still pretty good. Don't get me wrong. The changeup will keep you off balance, but say if he struggles with the changeup one night or just can't throw it, can't locate it, and he's got to rely on the slider, he's gonna get hit. He's gonna get hit. And I'm not saying it's pathetic by any means. It's just not. It's not in the tier that's gonna keep you off balance enough. Too many of them kind of. He gave up some hard contact, and all the hard contact came off the slider. And I think it was. I don't remember the guy's name, but he was a really big lefty. He was a Nationals organization. Big kid. He's probably like 6'5", maybe like 230. Big kid. Threw him a spinning slider, and he absolutely demolished this ball. And it went. The right fielder didn't even move, and it probably got to him in about 1.4 seconds. Like it was demolished. But it was an out, and he got out of the inning. So you don't see that on the scorecard, but it didn't move at all. But he did throw one that was just filthy. But it was only just one out of maybe like 7. So
he's got to refine things,
right?
But that's why he's still in AA.
Exactly. And we're looking at a guy who's only been into his first full season, so he's going to have some time to keep developing and stuff like that. But I don't want to jump the gun and be like, yes, he's going to be a superstar, right? Because it's that first season, and if you don't develop that off speed, guys are going to figure out your fastball. They always do. But it is good enough to get big league hitters out if you develop that third pitch. Because if not, you're probably heading to the bullpen with just two pitches that you can locate.
Well, look, the Orioles have a lot of intriguing arms in their system now, and it's crazy that now you're looking at a team that was the number 1 farm system in baseball 3 years in a row. They had the number 1 prospect in baseball 3 years in a row, and it was all bats. It was all position players with good bats. Now you look at the Orioles right now, and the Orioles are now ranked 7th, according to MLB Pipeline. And it's because of these arms that just got at this trade. A lot of intriguing arms that are going to be in this Orioles system that are absolutely.
We don't even talk about Boston Bateman anymore.
Yeah,
and that's probably one of their. I mean, I shouldn't say one of now, but he's a damn good lefty himself.
He's hurt right now, though, isn't he?
That was the other one, Braxton Bragg. And he's a lefty too, right?
Well, no, Bragg had Tommy John surgery like last year,
right?
but Boston got hurt this year because I know he left one start with elbow soreness, and I was shocked to see him make his next start, but then he left that start with an injury too. But and then I wasn't sure what happened with him after that.
Yeah, he last pitched on the 11th. It looks like they're taking it easy on him, so he may have had something. Because it looks like July 11th he went 5 innings, July 17th 1.2, July 26th 0.1.
Yeah, the July 17th start he left with elbow soreness, and we were all.
I think it was the 26th because he started that game, got 1 out and left. July 26th,
right? But that was the game that he came back after the elbow soreness.
Got it. Okay. Yeah. So he started both those games. Yep.
He had a short start. I think that was on the 17th. Left with elbow soreness. We were all worried, and then we saw him pitching, but then he only got a third of an inning in, and then I was like, "Oh, this dude's gonna have Tommy John surgery."
Yeah.
I thought that's what it was.
Yeah. So
Speaking
he pitched Tommy 2 innings
John
on the 5th.
Today. Did you see that?
Yeah. He pitched 2 innings on August 5th, no hits, no runs, and then 3 innings on August 11th, 2 hits, no runs. Still walking some guys. Had 6 Ks on the August 5th start, so he struck out every batter he saw. August 11th, he had 3 Ks. And somebody said he was scheduled to pitch today, but I'm not sure if he actually did or not. I guess I can double check and see what happens here. But yeah, I mean, he's a guy. We didn't even talk about him anymore. We were excited about him last year, remember?
Oh, yeah. Well,
they got canceled today, so he didn't pitch today. They got rained out.
He was the jewel of that Padres trade.
Right.
Yeah.
And he's still going to be good.
Yeah. The Orioles have such a plethora of arms. They're going to be that look like they could be legit.
Yeah.
That and some of these guys are getting traded. Some of these
That's
guys.
That's what I'm thinking. They're going to have to maybe package a couple guys together to go get an arm. I mean, not an arm, a bat.
Yeah, they need a legitimate center fielder.
I mean, look at like Micah Ashman. I mean, this was a guy that, got traded for Charlie Morton. You know what I mean? Like, and then he comes over to the O's, and he's having a great season. He's got 65 Ks in 41 innings right now with a 1.06 whip with a 1.74 ERA.
That double A or a high A?
Yeah, double A bullpen.
Wow.
But he's a lefty. He's a 6'7", almost 200 pounds. He's 23. Let me check his game logs here.
That's a guy who's going to be pitching for Baltimore probably at some point next year.
It's very possible. Hasn't given up a hit yet in August in two outings. Wow, so 3 total innings, no hits, 6 Ks. He's only given up in his last. Bless you.
Thank you.
What do we got here? 13. What's that? 14. He hasn't. In his last 16 outings, he's given up 5 hits.
6-7
16 innings, I'm sorry. He's given up 5 hits with, what's that, 4, 13, 19 Ks.
I mean, a 6-7 lefty.
Yeah.
With 65 strikeouts in 41 innings.
Yeah.
Who's already pitching out of the bullpen.
He pitched in the WBC too.
Yeah, I mean that's a legitimate arm
for Charlie Morton.
And the fact that they and that's the thing. I go back to that point that we were making is like Mike Elias acquired these guys that we didn't think were big league pitchers, and he said we added to this roster. We added to and so far it's true.
Yeah.
And then you look at the trades they made last year, like there are things that Mike Elias is really good at. He's really good at identifying talent. He's really good at drafting good talent for the most part. And he's really good at signing guys to reasonable extensions, right?
Yeah.
It's the trade deadline and signing free agents.
I would probably say whatever philosophy they have too. Mm-hmm. I think that's been his biggest black hole.
Yeah. Yeah.
He evaluates talent and brings them here and kind of, I don't want to say resurrects their career, but I think prolongs it. Mm-hmm. I don't have an explanation for it, but it seems like almost everybody that comes here plays pretty well.
I mean, look what he got out of CNL Perez. CNL Perez was arguably, in 2022, the best lefty reliever in baseball.
Yeah.
And then from June on in 2023, the best lefty reliever in the Orioles bullpen.
Yeah.
Like he did that with Joey Crable too. Cam Sanders couldn't throw the ball. He picked up Cam Sanders on a waiver claim, and the kid couldn't throw the ball over the plate. Mm-hmm. And now he's pitching in our highest leverage situations. Same thing with Hoppy. Hoppy's bugaboo was that he couldn't throw the ball over the plate. He could throw hard, but didn't know where he was going. And now he's coming in here and pitching well. Giving the Orioles meaningful innings out of the bullpen. I believe that Mike Elias is great at identifying talent, and I just, the free agency and again this year, it comes down to starting pitching that he's really struggled to acquire at the deadline and in free agency, and I think he's been used for leverage a lot.
Yeah, somebody asked about Twine Palmer, the Ramon Urias trade. Twine's had a pretty decent year. It looks like they've had him kind of bouncing between starter and bullpen. But this guy's gone 71 2/3 innings with 74 Ks and a 3.39 ERA in Frederick. And he's 21 years old.
Yeah.
You got him from Ramon Urias.
Who got DFA by the Cardinals.
Yeah.
Is Arias even playing right now?
He got claimed by somebody, I thought.
Let's see if we can find out where he ended up.
He
But
is with no, he's still with St. Louis.
okay, so
He's
he
on the
must have cleared
60
waivers.
day.
Oh, okay.
Let's see why. If I can find out why.
But I do remember that he got DFA and he must have cleared waivers.
I think he got DFA by Houston. I think.
No, because he signed with the Cardinals in the offseason.
Yeah.
The Orioles
1 year, $2 million.
Yeah, the Orioles traded him to Houston, and then he was a free agent, and he won 58 this year in 57 at bats. He's just such a limited player, man. That's the thing. He's not fast. He's a utility player, but he's really a second or third baseman. He doesn't really play shortstop.
Yeah.
He doesn't play outfield. He's not fast, and he needs to play every day to get the bat going. And
we might see him actually. He's rehabbing right now. He has right elbow lateral. I'm gonna butcher this. Epicondylitis. I just butchered that. Nobody listened to that.
Right lateral myocarditis. I don't know.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, that was on June 12th. But yeah, it looks like on August 4th they sent him on a rehab assignment to the Memphis Redbirds, and we're at St. Louis in what, a week or so, 2 weeks, and we're already looking at 12 days. So he's coming up on that. We get 21 days. We might see him. I don't know. Depends.
206 down in Memphis. He might be done.
Yeah.
I mean, he might be done. But today's show brought to you by the latest edition of the Press Box Print, which we are in the final days of for you to be able to pick up the current print issue. Coming this week, a brand new print issue hit stands. On the cover, Antonio Barbera looks at the Minter effect and what new Ravens coach Jesse Minter brings to a team with Super Bowl aspirations. Also inside, an extensive college football preview, helping you learn more about all the teams in the region. And be on the lookout for the new print issue later this week. And as always, it will be available for free at your Baltimore area High's Dairy stores, and also read it at PressBoxOnline.com. Also, we're getting closer and closer to the high school football season, but until we get there, you can find the latest news about high school coaching changes and previews for football season by visiting countysports.zone. Countysports.zone is proudly sponsored by your local Toyota dealer and buyatoyota.com. Winding things down here on the bat around. Orioles playing some of their best baseball of the year. We've discussed their trades. We've discussed the guys coming back, the things that they've been doing right. What's your confidence level with this team? Are they playing above their heads right now, or is it something where they're just kind of starting to gel? Because again, they had they had the deadline. They immediately won a series against the Angels, but then they lost a series to Texas. They lost a series to Minnesota. And, it was 2 bad series that we weren't feeling great about. And now they've won 3 straight in Tampa Bay. And all of a sudden we're all back on the bandwagon. Is the expectation that they're going to do – and again, the Orioles, when they've gotten within 2 games of 500 this year, have they're 0-5.
They can't get there, yeah.
They're 0-5
just can't get there.
Those instances. And, of course, with their 6th opportunity to get back to 1 game under 500, they're going against Shane McClanahan, who is their kryptonite. The Orioles have to – I mean, with how crappy the American League East – not the American League East, but the American League as a whole has been, they don't need to win every series the rest of the way, right? And you've got a tough stretch of games that you're right in the midst of right now. But, what's realistic for this team? Can they stay in this thing to the end?
Yeah. I mean, we kind of expected this offense to be good all year. But, look, if your pitching's going to pitch the way that it has – there's no reason not to think that they don't have a shot. Mm-hmm. If the hitting does somewhat what they're supposed to do, and you kind of touched it on the head there, they're gelling, it feels like. Mm-hmm. It almost feels like that not everybody's trying to do too much anymore, especially Pete. And I think Pete's really settled into his role, and he's just playing baseball. And I feel like Gunnar is getting back to just playing baseball. And Holliday is starting to kind of conform now at 21, 22 years old. And you're potentially getting Basayo back. You're potentially getting Blaze Alexander back. But then you got Tyler O'Neill, who's finally settled down and hitting the ball well. You've got Cowser in the midst of one of his stretches. Tavares in the midst of one of his stretches. You ride that out as long as possible. But if the pitching keeps doing what they're doing, like there's no reason not to think that they have a shot every day at this point.
And
it's just going to come down to the bullpen. How much do you trust them?
All these teams are flawed.
Yes.
All of these teams are flawed. Like you're facing the Yankees, and the Yankees have good starting pitching, but that offense is not the same without Judge. Yeah, like you could see, we saw the Yankees in a 4-game series in New York back at the end of April, beginning of May, completely blow the Orioles' doors off. They scored 44 runs in that 4-game series and swept the Orioles. Yeah. And then a week later, they come to Baltimore, and Orioles take 2 of 3.
Yeah.
You know, and this is a team without Aaron Judge right now. Is Stanton playing right now either?
I think he's on his way back.
Yeah, I mean,
whatever.
Jazz Chisholm's having a terrible year. Cody Bellinger's out right now. You know, you're looking at, you're going to probably see a pitcher's duel between the Orioles and Yankees in this upcoming series, and in a pitcher's duel, what it's going to come down to is whose bullpen's better. Is your bullpen better than the Yankees' bullpen? Is your offense going to be better than their offense? It can be. With the guys that they have missing right now, it should be. Will it be? You know? So it's just one of those things, man. It's crazy to me that this season has felt, one, like it's lasted forever.
Yeah.
2, it's felt awful. It's felt like it's been a bad year, and yet we're sitting here at 9:45 p.m. on Sunday, August 16th, leading in sole possession of the 3rd wild card spot.
It's crazy.
I wouldn't have believed that 2 weeks ago when after what they did at the deadline. I wouldn't have believed that. Nope. I said that day they're going to lose 90 games, and yet here we are 2 weeks later, sole possession of the 3rd wild card spot.
Yep.
It's been a crazy season. We may, for the first time in a full season, see a team that's sub 500 make the playoffs. I still don't think that's going to happen.
I don't think that's going to happen.
But I mean, the 3rd wild card has been at 500 or below for like 2 or 3 months. It feels like.
Yeah, I think somebody will kind of figure that out.
Yeah,
I want to see who leads. What are we in August? Let's just say since July 1st. I want to see what pitching staff has pitched the best. Detroit at a 2.85. We're talking since July 1st here. New York with a 3.26. St. Louis with a 3.35. Boston with a 3.51. Where's Baltimore at? There's no way we're down this far. We're 12th with a 3.84. That's overall. That's over.
Yeah,
that's a starter. I'm sorry. That's the starter. Yeah.
I mean, Boz got lit up. He had his worst start of the year, his last start. Rogers wasn't great. Bradish wasn't great. The starts before these last 2. And Kramer wasn't good.
Yeah, Kramer gave up 21 earned runs in 5 games. Brandon Young has given up 17 and 7. Boz 15 and 7. Bradish 15. But we're talking, I mean, we're pinching pennies here. Brandon Young giving up these 17 runs is a 3.7. Boz is a 3.5, and Bradish is a 3.3.
Mm-hmm. That's a good starting staff.
Yeah. Trevor Rogers, back to being Trevor Rogers, has a 2.68 over his last 40 innings.
Mm-hmm. He's been pitching well since the end of May.
Yeah.
He had that 6-start stretch. And I wonder how much, like, how sick was he and how long was he sick and having lingering effects before he went on the IL?
Yeah.
That's the question, because he started the year with 3 consecutive quality starts.
Right.
Fell off a cliff for 6 starts, hit the IL, and came back. And when he came back, he immediately took a shutout into the 7th inning before giving up two 2-run homers. And since then, he's been 20-25 Trevor Rogers again. Somebody asked, are the Orioles going to extend Trevor Rogers? I wanted to get to this.
They better.
Couple of things I wanted to get to. So first, O's card giveaways. Really upset I'm just joining us. Is Paul joining in? Is Paul positive? Paul, I think I've been fairly positive.
Paul's been positive today.
I mean, it's hard not to be after taking 3 straight from Tampa Bay in the way that you've done it.
Yeah.
You know, I just want the team to play good baseball. Will Rogers, does Rogers get extended by the O's? I think what's going to happen, right? They could have traded him at the deadline, which tells me that the packages they were offered for him were not good enough, or they had no intention of trading him. And I think what's going to happen with Trevor Rogers, he's going to get that qualifying offer extended to him. And that's going to be about $24 million.
Yeah.
He's either going to accept it, and I think that they think he's going to accept it. $24 million for Trevor Rogers is a lot of money. I think, he wants to be here. He's going to accept it, and that allows them to negotiate with him longer if they have to. And if he doesn't accept it, Mike Elias loves a high draft pick.
Yes.
So he'll get a first round. Hopefully, he's not picked up by a team whose highest draft pick is a third rounder. But Trevor Rogers wants to be here. I think he's done enough over the last 2 seasons for the Orioles to say, yeah, we want you to be here long term. It's just coming to it because at the end of the day, he still has that 4.15 ERA. But you look at the whole body of work, what he did last year, 19 starts, and what he's done this year for 14 of his 20 starts.
Mm-hmm.
And I actually posted this the other day. The Orioles are one of 3 teams right now in all of baseball that have 4 starters with 20 starts, over 100 innings, and an ERA of 4.2 or below. Yeah. And all 3 teams, the Orioles, the Mariners, and the Guardians, are under 500.
Isn't that crazy?
It's nuts. The Braves, as soon as – I don't know if Martin Perez has pitched recently. As soon as Martin Perez makes his next start, the Braves will join that list too, and they're the only team that's above 500 out of all of them. But when you have 4 starters in your rotation that are doing that, you should be 23 games above 500 like the Braves are.
Right.
I
want to see.
So when did Judge get hurt?
I don't remember.
Judge got hurt, I think, at the end of May. I think it was May 31st that Judge got hurt. I want to see what the Yankees are doing since then. Oh my God.
I'm looking at ERA over the last 45 days versus teams over 500. The Orioles have played 17 games against teams over 500, which is like 11th or 12th. They're pitching to a 3.62 ERA in 154 innings, which is 10th most innings-wise.
What's their record? Because they have not played well against teams above 500, except
9-8.
Really?
We're talking about the last 45 days.
9-8, but it was 5-8, or I'm sorry, 6-8 before this stretch here.
Yeah. That winning percentage puts them at 8th best, but that is before today, I believe. So they're 10-8 after today. So that will put them up at the 7th best winning percentage in baseball right now against teams over 500 in the last 45 days, pitching wise. I'll hang my hat on that. I like when our team does well against good teams. I shouldn't say I don't care about what they do against losing teams because obviously every game matters, but these are the teams that are going to make the playoffs. And if you're performing well against them, I'm getting a little excited.
Now, the Yankees have played since Judge got hurt. The Yankees have played 64 games. Let's see what the score was in today's game. The Yankees have played 64 games, and they have scored 3 runs or less 36 times in those 64 games. Wow! Since Judge got hurt, and they're in a stretch right now where it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 times in their last 12, 13, 14, 11 times in their last 15 games they've scored 3 runs or less, and 10 times in the last 15 games they scored 2 runs or less. So you're catching the Yankees, and I think that probably coincides with Bellinger's injury. You're catching the Yankees at a time where they're not swinging the bats well at all. But
they are, actually. I was watching a reel. They're going through what we did, where we're literally just hitting a ball right at guys.
Mm-hmm.
I think they had I was watching this reel, and it was their announcers were basically talking about it. Their last, I forget how many games it was, they had hit 18 balls right at guys.
Really?
And and Boone was talking about, he's like, oh, we're hitting the ball hard, we're doing this, we're doing all the things right and stuff. And the announcers were basically like, look, at some point you just got to have results. the what you're expecting and this, and this. Like, it's all great. Like, but at some point you need a bunt or you need something. You need to get on base, because just because you're hitting a ball very, very hard at a guy doesn't mean diddly squat when you've lost this amount of games. And I agree with the guy, but it's literally the same thing we went through. The same thing. And I feel like every team in baseball does, but we kind of just hyper focus our team. But every team in baseball, they want you to hit the ball hard, and you're going to go through stretches where it just goes right at a guy. If we don't go in there and pitch, they're going to hit it hard.
Yeah, right. They are. They have capable hitters in their lineup, but it's you're catching them at a time right now where they're not the Yankees. They're the Yankees, but they're not the Yankees. It's not that, for lack of a better term, murderer's row where you've got to face Bellinger, Judge, and Stanton back to back to back. I mean, you're facing Jazz Chisholm and Paul the ghost of Paul Goldschmidt at this point. Now, of course, I say that I need to knock on some wood here, because if
because Paul can hit.
We're looking at a team that might get swept, because I'm not allowed to be positive about the team. Okay. I don't think I'm negative about the team. I think I'm realistic about the team, but I'm certainly not allowed to be positive, because every time I am, they crap the bed. So, and it's like, I blame myself when it happens.
Somebody just tagged me on Twitter, said, watching live, we need our fans to pack the ballpark this week. Talk it up. I couldn't disagree more. Yeah. I mean, I couldn't agree more. Sorry.
I knew what you meant. I knew what
couldn't agree more.
No, like, get out there and pack the ballpark. Like, your team's playing hot. If they find a way to win that game tomorrow, and they come home after winning 4 straight against the American League's best team, like,
gotta feel good.
I'm gonna have to find a way to go to that game on Tuesday.
Yeah,
that's the only game I'd be able to go to. I'm gonna have to find a way to get down there.
I of course scheduled practice for my travel team on Tuesdays and Fridays.
Yeah. Well, I mean, but you got other days in there.
Yeah, I know.
Take the spend $600 and take your family out there.
Right.
What is it? A family of 5, $600. That's nothing, right?
Yep.
Well, speaking of family, my wife may murder me if I make her wait longer for me to come watch Beef with her. So that's going to do it for us on the Bat Around. Orioles playing some of their best baseball of the year. Hopefully the good vibes keep rolling tomorrow to get this 4-game sweep of Tampa Bay. Come home hot to face the Yankees in Tampa Bay again. Look, sole possession of the 3rd wild card spot. Who'd have thunk it based on how this season's gone? But that's why they play the games. Yep. Keep trucking along and try and get yourselves into the postseason. I will say, if they make the postseason, Mike Elias is here. Mike Elias is here to stay if they make the playoffs again. So that's going to do it for us. Thanks to all of our sponsors. Without you, we don't have a show. Thank you to all of our loyal listeners, viewers, fans. Without you, we 100% do not have a show. Until next week,